Levels.
Levels.
I have levels.
Yeah, you do. I don't, but that's just.
No,
Oh yeah,
I,
you got
yeah.
way levels.
How about that? Hot damn.
Yeah,
Cool. So, can we start with sports this week?
we have been explicitly and repeatedly told not to, but sure, why not?
So, have you followed this story about the Tennessee? This is college football, by the way. The Tennessee quarterback who got in an NIL contract negotiation battle and ultimately no-showed for their spring game. Did you follow this?
Uh, I want to say no, but it eventually showed up. I mean, didn't the coach dismiss him from the team?
He did. So he left Tennessee and is now apparently enrolling at UCLA.
So someone took him in.
They did. Even though my understanding of the NIL contract that he signed in Tennessee was a 2-year contract and it's exclusive. So if he tries to sign another contract with UCLA, there's going to be a problem. Apparently, also in other news, his brother left his school, which was Arkansas, and is now also going to UCLA.
Well, I mean, what I can't figure out is how they didn't see this coming.
How's that?
Well, their last name is I am a lever.
Jesus. Hi, toddlers. Welcome to Talking to Todd, weekly podcast with Dwayne Johnson and Todd Friends, where failure is always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Nate, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. How are you?
It's gonna be a long night. You froze up more more than you have not frozen up so far in this. Other than that, doing great. Also from the cold open. You know how sometimes we say that's a joke for one person?
Yes.
I think the cold open is a joke for no people. But did you want to would context help? Because if you
I
have to explain a joke, it always helps.
Nico and Madden, I'm a Leva. That's their name. It's Nico, I'm a Leva, and Madden, I'm a Leva. They're Levas.
Yeah. Yep. Oh no, that made it much better. Okay,
Did that
that's
help?
excellent.
That
Yep.
always helps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Feedback, follow up, and updates. Same thing we always do.
Sure. Yes. Let's do that.
One thing from toddler number one.
Um, actually,
I suppose it could be an actually. Um, Non-musical play, as we described, good night and good luck, is redundant.
Because it's a play, which you don't need to explain. Then a play is non-musical.
Is non-musical. If it was a musical, it'd be a musical. If it was a musical play, it wouldn't be a musical play. It'd be a musical. A non-musical play is redundant and stupid. You don't need to say that. Okay, point taken.
I mean, there is a simplicity to that that's hard to argue with.
She's not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
How about Lisa?
A couple things. Last episode, I made a Def Leppard reference, and I said it was for one person. It was for her. She got it. She loved it.
There you go.
She also then she knew secretly that I love Def Leppard, and I obviously that proved it. Last week we made a comment about, well, I think we're going on Ragbri. I don't know, maybe we're going to do this or not. Since we recorded that, we have bought plane tickets to go to Iowa. So the feedback today was there better be a Ragbri because we are going back to Iowa. So some timing issues there. Anyway, that's fine.
Okay.
and then she was confused a bit about your question around your phone upgrade.
Yeah.
Her comment to me was, um, you're thinking about upgrading your phone, as we discussed right before your trip, and her comment to me was, up until like 2 months ago, didn't he have like an iPhone 4? Like, wasn't his previous phone like for 10 years, and now he's upgrading again already?
Uh, the answer is every 2 years. I
Okay.
alternate. I had a 12 mini, in fact, a
Mm,
12 mini,
okay.
and then I had the 14, and then spoiler alert, since we last recorded, I am now the proud owner of a 16 Pro.
Oh, you went with the telephoto lens.
I went with the telephoto lens, and Amy says, "Guess you're taking all the pictures on this trip." And I said, "I guess I am, because I do anyway, so why not?" So I did. I'm recording, we're both recording on the road this week. I'm recording from Hollywood, and I've already used the telephoto lens to take pictures of um, lots of things. Yeah, lots of things. Um, for example, the theater where Jimmy Kimmel records, where that show is taped, is
Yes.
across the street from my hotel.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Yep. I can look when I go up this one set of steps here. I can see the Roosevelt Hotel, so I took a picture of that. If I look the other direction, I can see what's the iconic planetarium thing that's up on the hill when in
Griffin,
Los
the
Angeles.
Griffin, isn't it?
Yeah, Griffith, I think, or
Griffith.
Griffith. I don't know. Anyway, yes, that I can see that, and I'm like, is that really? And then I zoomed in on my phone. Yep, sure enough, there it is. Boom, took that picture. I've yet to see the Hollywood sign, but apparently there's a place in this hotel where I can stand and find and see the Hollywood sign. Uh, I walked on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, saw did we get into travel stories? Took pictures of the stars for Daniel Craig and Hugh Jackman and Bugs Bunny for no particular. I don't know,
Hey,
because
look,
why not?
somebody ponied up the $2,500 for Bugs. He gets a star.
I might as well take a picture of it. I don't know. So yeah, so I have upgraded my phone, uh, and I am really liking it. It's fantastic. The
Excellent.
camera's a definite upgrade.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yep.
So, and realistically, I mean, it's really for the trip. It's for the once in a lifetime trip. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. More on that later.
Okay.
Eek.
All right. Any other
Let's see.
feedback?
I don't see any. I didn't. Yeah, toddlers, I apologize if you sent feedback and we didn't get it or didn't get to it or didn't find it. It's kind of been a week, so apologies. Do you have any corrections?
Nope, none from my side.
How about some follow up?
Yeah. So I know I scared you here because I put R.I.P. whiskey, and you're very, very concerned.
I
Um,
am.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Is Prohibition coming back?
if uh, if you want to play Lucas's game on a Mac, Prohibition is on us. Uh, the the person the the person who invented, who coded and ran whiskey, has officially shut it down. I don't know if it's still available. He's no longer doing any development. He has closed. It is a dead platform. And there's a couple of reasons for it. Number one, uh, because he's concerned that by having this free one, that it's undermining a company called Crossover, which does this and has paid developers that takes care of this. And so he's encouraging everybody to pay the $75 or one time or something to Crossover. But I also believe the other reason is because he wants to continue to focus on his college studies, because I think he's 18 or 19 years old, and maintaining this is starting to take a lot out of him.
How dare he? I am
But
aggrieved.
by the way, this is not the only emulator he has written. He has written other emulators in the past when he was in high school.
Somebody hired this kid already. Sweet
Yeah.
Lord.
I'm not sure what he's doing in college. But anyway, so by the way, if you aren't on a Mac and you are on a PC, Dewayne, where would somebody go to get the game?
Store.steampowered.com and search for Wakey Wakey.
There we go.
Yep. Or just Google Wakey Wakey on Steam and that'll find it too.
Yeah.
And
Wakey
there's
Wakey on Steam, not
probably
Wakey Wakey on Steam, not on whiskey.
not on whiskey. No.
Yeah. How
No.
about you? What other follow up you have? Oh,
The irony of somebody not able to drink whiskey, calling their platform whiskey, not lost. Anyway,
well, if he's in college, I'm pretty sure he can drink whiskey.
yeah, that's not wrong. The other piece of follow-up, this one came from Tyler Matt Damon. Do you remember the story about Officer Hot Stuff?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, yes.
The Iowa DNR conservation officer that was fired for unprofessional conduct. They have now sued the agency claiming PTSD, alleging that the department violated her civil rights when it fired her as a result of post-traumatic stress disorder triggered by fatalities she encountered at work, witnessing multiple critical incidents involving the tragic deaths of others. And the story lists several tragic incidents that she has been witness to. It doesn't say why that led her to call him Officer Hot Stuff.
Yeah. There, see, implied, I guess. I don't.
Correlation is not causation.
I thought what you were saying was that her firing caused the PTSD because just like those other fatalities, watching her career get killed in front of her really brought back some bad memories.
I'll believe
soon?
that.
Too soon?
It's
No?
possible.
Okay. All right.
I think you're right, but that wasn't what she was claiming. Might have had a better shot at that. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I got. Promotions. We're going to have some meetups. We're going to have some Ragbri. We're going to have some deaf gatherings. I don't know. We got stuff coming up. We don't have dates yet, but at some point. Any other promotions?
No, not after those stellar ones. Hey, some stuff's coming at some point. I think we're good.
That was the update, wasn't it? Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Yeah. Do we have anything? You know what we should do? We should plug our upcoming episode Out of Time with Dr. Jesse from the Taylor Center for Technology Policy.
Oh, as part of Todd's Tech Corner. Yes.
So both promotions and Tech Corner. Kind of a hybrid there.
So I would say is if you're a fan of Todd's Tech Corner, boy, have we got an episode coming for you.
Oh boy.
If you are not a fan of Todd's Tech Corner, good news is you get a week off from listening to Talking to Todd. Dewayne, do you want to give the quick preview?
Yeah. So Jesse is a genius. No, wait, hold on. Jesse worked at the Genius Bar. I mean, he may also be a genius.
Well, what I was going to say was Jesse was a genius and we were gifted. Turns out both of those designations can be revoked.
So Jesse worked for Apple and was anyway, and Jesse worked for Apple. So, and Todd feels like he worked for Apple, but never did. The money went in the opposite direction.
Yes, I did it wrong.
Yeah. Jesse took money from Apple. You gave money to Apple. But both of you are Apple aficionados. So
Yes.
I put together a quiz that pitted Todd against Jesse on their knowledge of all things Apple.
Yes. And it did get a little competitive.
Oh boy, was it they were they were locked in, man. They were, yes. Yeah. To the
So,
point where Todd didn't say anything funny for like 5 whole minutes. Anyway, when I'm in Italy and I don't know. Anyway, we're going to have some episodes at a time coming up. That's going to be one of them. So stay tuned.
all right.
Let's
What do we
see.
have next? Oh,
We,
And I'm here, Yes Queen, to remind Todd of the mess Todd made when he answered wrong. Todd ought to know.
that's right. Thanks to the Dino Toddler, we have an outstanding theme for Todd I don't know. We also have quiz questions tonight for Todd. Let's see.
oh, good.
I've got
Oh, good. More quizzes.
more quizzes.
That's awesome.
These are things that I think Todd ought to know, and we're going to find out whether or not he does. So, question number one, Todd. There is one word in the English language that has 3 sets of consecutive double letters. Do you know what it is?
Mississippi.
No, double consecutive letters.
Ah, got it. Okay.
There's eyes in the middle of Mississippi.
Yeah.
The
I realized.
spelling thing caught up with you again.
Yeah. I was just trying to answer quick and move on. A single word, 3 sets of consecutive double letters.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Aardvark, no. Apple, no. Avocado.
Oh, we're going to be at this for a while.
Hey, you asked me. Hold on. Let me go through here. Okay. Accentuate, no. Accept.
If you get to
no.
accounting, when you get to accounting, you're going to be in the right ballpark.
Accounting. I don't know what it is.
Bookkeeper. Bookkeeper. Bookkeeper.
Okay.
Sticking with the word theme here. What is the longest single syllable word in the English language? I would say you have many of these.
A brain lapse is more than one syllable.
Biking shorts, no.
No. Apple computers, nope. That's not
Also
it
not. No.
The longest. Let's see. Longest with single syllable. Well, I mean, if I'm honest, if you don't mind mangling a pronunciation, almost anything can be a single syllable. I'll say orange.
Not orange, actually. Strengths. Strengths is one syllable.
It's hard to argue with that. I don't. Yes. Okay.
Yep. Strengths. Strengths. Todd, do you know who invented or held the patent for the fire hydrant?
Okay. All right. It's not Theodore Hydrant. His friends call him Teddy.
Just plugging away at this, aren't you?
Jeez. I'm not going to engage. Although maybe I should, because if I derail us enough, I won't have to answer this. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm gonna walk you through this.
Okay.
So who would have invented the fire hydrant? And I'm thinking, well, who would you least expect? And that would be somebody who starts fires. So I'm going to say Milton Kingsford.
That is not correct.
Yeah.
It was kind of a trick question
Okay.
because the answer is nobody knows. Do you know why nobody knows?
Because nobody has ever played this game before.
No, because those papers were lost when the U.S.
fire.
Patent Office burnt down. Yes. There you go. And last one for you on
Thank
this
God.
week's edition of
Yeah.
Todd I Don't Know.
Okay.
And I can't remember. This is a great piece of trivia. This is a great trivia question. And I can't remember if we've talked about this before on the pod or not.
Giving my
But
luck, we haven't. But okay.
can you name the brothers that hold the NHL record for most combined points by two brothers?
Yes, it's the Gretzkys.
Yes. Do you know what the do you know how that's divided up?
Wayne has well, I think the other Gretzky has like 20 and Wayne has the other 1,300.
Wayne has
1,800.
2,000.
Yeah, no, he's got I was going to say he has at least 1,800. Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne has 2,857 points and Brent has 4. And combined, they hold the record. Anyway, Brent.
We have covered that on this podcast. Yes.
Okay. I can't remember how many trees are in Canada. You can't remember how many points that Brent has. We're fine. Okay, that's all I got for Todd I Don't Know this week. Just random trivia, things that I thought might be funny. Okay, maybe not. Should we do some idiots?
Sure.
The Scott Frost Memorial Idiot of the Week.
Yeah. I'll go first. So the MLS Next. Sorry, MLS Next, not the MLS Next, which is MLS Youth Development League, is making a small change to the way that they rank the teams. So Dewayne, in sports, over the course of a season, how do you know which team is the best team versus the worst team? How do you normally do that? This is not a trick question.
You are what your record says you are.
Yes. So you have your wins, your losses, ties. Y'all can tie. Thanks, Ted. So you have wins, losses, and draws, right?
Oh, that's right. I forgot y'all have ties over here.
We're gonna fight till there's a winner or a loser or a tie. Y'all have ties. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So because it's a development league, they want to encourage development. So they are no longer basing the team's record does not affect your standings. Instead, they're prioritizing individual development over the competition. So they have partnered with a UK firm, Taka, which does data analytics, real-time data analytics of players. So I don't know if you've seen soccer, right? Like it's like all the players wearing like the sports bra with the thing on the back that,
Yes. Yeah.
So they have broken the game down into 200 different ways of measuring what is good and bad plays. So in theory, and people have tried to do this before, right? When you scout people, what's a good pass? Well, a pass that made it to a teammate could be considered a good pass. However, if you have more data points, you could also decide whether you should have made that pass or not. Even if it got completed, it might have been the wrong thing to do. And so every player is represented on the field with a green or red dot that basically says whether or not they did a good job or a bad job on the play. The standings are then based off of the combined number of good plays that your individuals made, not whether you won the game or not. And at the end of the season, the teams with the highest individual performance scores then move on to the playoffs, which I don't know are decided by a cotton candy eating contest or something. I don't know. Anyway, now there is a slight problem. First of all, so wins and losses no longer matter. Okay, maybe.
Do we all get ribbons?
In a development league, I guess, sure. But then, as the article points out, there is a bit of a problem of if you as a player, as part of your development, they point out that if all of your plays are green, that means you're probably not taking enough risks, because in order to develop and grow as a player, you have to be willing to try things. So you should have some negative plays. But if you have, because then that's how you learn what you can do or whatever. Because if it's always green, it's always the safe play. But then the question becomes, if you know that you are being judged on quote unquote good plays and your team is being judged on good plays, you may never take a risk, which means you will actually maybe never develop because you will never grow as a player, because you will keep doing just the things that give you the green dot. What are we even doing at this point? I don't. On the other hand, this is my other thought was, somebody looked at this and went, look, over the course of, I don't know how many teams are in this. Let's say there's 10 teams over the course of every team, would play 18 games. There's like 180 games. Over 180 games, there's what, 6 or 7 goals total? We got to find a different way to start ranking teams. But we're getting rid of the wins and the losses, and we're going to use metrics. We're going to use advanced metrics to judge teams. This is going to go great. Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. Good news is they are saving money on the scoreboards. Starting last year, they just didn't even post the score in the stadium anymore. How old was Lucas the last time when he played in a soccer game that they didn't even put the score up?
6 or 7, but here's the thing. When we weren't keeping score, the kids all knew what the score was. Both sides. Yeah. They knew. Parents all knew. Oh. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention. I had a generic idea as to whether or not we were up or down, but it was more about the ice cream than it was about the winning. Right? Or the orange slices or whatever the snack was at the end that the parents brought. But the kids all knew. The kids absolutely knew what the score was, even though when we weren't supposed to be keeping score.
Yeah.
Not wrong. Yep, that actually happened.
How about you? What did you bring?
I have 2 options for you.
Okay.
Not dead yet.
Okay.
And 2, what's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken.
You're bringing a lot more energy to the announcement of these every week. You're really trying to sell them now. Let's try Not Dead Yet.
That's the one from toddler Matt Damon.
Oh, that's right. You know what? Let's see. You know what? If we've got time, let's get to it at the end. Let's hear about Colonel Sanders.
So this is a quote from Shadur Sanders this week. Have you read this?
This is why I didn't pick this. And then you told me. So look, I saw Sanders, and I know that he's been in the news, and there's no way in hell that I want to hear anything about him at all, because I'm sick and tired of hearing about him. And then you're like, what's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken? And I thought, see, this isn't what I thought at all. I should have given Dewayne the benefit of the doubt. So then I pick it, and then what happens is, nope, I knew what I was walking into. I should have known. I was right to begin with. I am so sorry, toddler Matt Damon, but I did pick this. So, what did Dion's kid say?
He sent a warning message to every NFL team ahead of this weekend's draft. Quote, "If you don't draft me, I will not be your quarterback.
Well, remember earlier in the show when Amy said that a non-musical play was redundant, and you just go, well, that's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
He continued on Twitter.
Okay.
I know that might sound cocky, but I've been studying the draft process real hard this week. And based on everything I've learned, if your team doesn't pick me and another team does, then I'm going to play for that team and not yours. And then he went on. Unless, of course, that team cuts me or trades me to you in the future, in which case I might play for your team eventually, but not at first. That's not how this works. So consider this your final warning about that. Analysts are calling it the most accurate explanation of the NFL draft ever written by someone actively participating in it.
I mean, here's the problem. You're covering this in idiots.
Yes.
What he said, like, isn't everything is true.
Everything, there is nothing that he said there that is not true. That is correct. It's dumb, but it's not wrong.
On the other hand, let me throw this out.
Sure.
Compare that to any number of things his dad has said in the last year. Like, this isn't that bad. Like, it's not provocative. I do wonder, however, if what he was expecting was somebody who's a GM of an NFL team goes, holy crap, that kid's got a point. Hadn't considered that. We need to rethink our board.
Yeah, boy, if we don't draft him, he's not going to play for us. Wait, what?
Well, but until maybe later.
Right. Whatever. Jesus. I'm sure it made sense to him at some point in his head.
You know,
and why wouldn't it?
At least we know that he's got a future when he retires from being somebody's quarterback as an NFL commentator. So see, he ran the ball, and if he got it past that line, then they get some more downs. But if he didn't, then they don't. Yeah. Anything else? Nope. That's it.
No, that's just it. Yeah.
Best in the biz.
Stellar drop in there, Monty. Oh, sweet Lord. I've got a couple of travel stories.
Okay.
We'll see how well your internet works.
Okay. We're barely hanging on as it is. And there are portions where I've just answered questions that I don't know that you've asked. And you're like, you know what? let's do something here.
So I took a picture of this sign when I was at the airport in Atlanta.
Okay. Just waiting for it to show up somewhere.
And so I'm in the terminal.
Okay.
At gate 34. All the way at the A34 is the last gate in the A terminal in Atlanta. So I'm all the way at the end, and there are these big, huge glass windows at the end of the terminal that you can look out, and there's a road with carts and cars and stuff going up and down, hauling things, doing airport stuff. And I look, and there is this sign.
Says, caution, blast area.
Yes. And that sign was 40 feet tops from the glass window behind which I was standing.
Okay.
And I'm like, is this the best place to have a blast area? I mean, you could blast pretty much anywhere you wanted to, but maybe not right here, right in front of the windows with people standing behind them.
Or, flip side, if you know it's a blast area, maybe we put some solid materials there.
Either of those would be possible solutions.
Yeah, see, the problem is this is Tyler's, just so that you know, he just sent me an airport trivia thing, and now I'm like, well, got to look that bad boy up on my because it's like, oh, I have an idea of what that sign actually is, but now I got to go look it up. Okay, sure, please continue. Don't mind me.
So then the other thing that happened also while I was in Atlanta, I went to the Delta Sky Lounge
Or the Sky Club.
because yeah, that thing, whatever. I don't know, the one that I can get into. Um, and there was food and there was drink and there was Wi-Fi, and I sat down and I flipped open my laptop and I'm eating, and I got my water and I'm, pounding away on my laptop, boom, 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 working away, working away, working away, and then looked at my phone because I got a text message.
Yeah.
And my phone says it is 3:13. And my flight was supposed to start boarding at 3:10. And I was still a good 7 to 10 minute walk from my gate from the lounge. What I'm telling you is do not lose track of time when you're in the Sky Lounge or the Sky Club or whatever one because it's really easy to do because you've got food right there and you've got good Wi-Fi. And I was just cranking away on these projects at work, and I'm like, oh, hey, I gotta go. Slam the laptop down, off you go. Yeah, don't do that. Suggestion, just don't. Have you ever had that happen to you?
I mean,
You ever lost track of time in the lounge and almost missed your flight? I didn't. I wasn't even close to missing my flight, but
there is a game to be played occasionally of how long can we stay before we really need to go down there? Because I mean, by the time you do the pre-boarding and the people who need assistance with the pre-boarding and any active duty military members, thank you for your service. And then any active duty military members, thank you for your service, who need pre-boarding assistance. And then
parents with children in wheelchairs and strollers and car seats.
Yeah. Like, and then welcome any Delta 360 members. And then if I'm not traveling with Lisa, any Diamond members, that's not me. And then anybody who it goes on and on and on. Anyway, by the time, like, if I'm just traveling by myself, there's the time that starts boarding, and then when Todd's going to board. And there is a significant amount of time in which you could enjoy the lounge a little bit longer. Yeah.
I cut it a little too close for my for my well-being. That would have been bad, being stuck in Atlanta. But yeah, anyway. You watch anything good? Oh, sorry.
Hold on,
yes?
hold on. See, I've got my phone. I've got my.
Oh, hey, you do. You have a okay. So
yeah. Do you want the good news about your blast area?
Yeah. What does it really mean?
You were perfectly fine. You were in no danger in any way, shape, or form. Just so you know. Okay.
Was it a horn blast?
No. So there's a road that cars and carts and all sorts of stuff drive on, right?
Yes.
And then there is a little bit of grass, just a little bit of grass. And then there's a taxiway in which incredibly large aircraft with wings with engines that hang out over those. That taxiway is parallel to the glass that you were on, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So, but the road is parallel to that between the two of you. So if a very large jet with engines running goes along that taxiway, you won't notice anything on the glass. However, if you're driving one of those little cart tug things with like 6 empty baggage carts, and you
no windows,
and you are 20 or 30 foot closer to the jet blast area, what you are going to see from the windows is a cart and 6 empty things tumbleweeding all the way down the runway.
Okay, that's a good note. Okay.
Which is
So
also,
you're saying the sign wasn't for me?
the sign had nothing to do with the sign wasn't for you.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. On the other hand, or the flip side is, if you like seeing people in mortal danger, then it is a blast zone, because you're like, this is a blast. Just stand here and watch this pickup truck just get blasted a quarter mile after that A350 goes past. Sick puppy.
Nice. So you watch anything good?
We're just let's see, we're slowly making our way through even slower. Still working on Mythic Quest. As we talked about, I think last week, watched a bit here and there. And I'm sure there was probably something else, but obviously, once again, we're back into our, hey boy, there's a lot of okay stuff on YouTube. So anyway, how about you?
I tell you, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. There's not there everything that we watch regularly is done, or it's the end of the season, and like I don't know. So we watched the new Daredevil Born Again thing
On Disney Plus?
on Disney Plus. We watched all of that. Um, should we get through this? Sure, let's get through this. We started it and we took a couple nights off. And like, okay, there's really nothing else. Fine. So we watched that. Um, it's fine. I My biggest complaint with this show, and I like Vincent D'Onofrio,
Okay.
and I think he does a really good job with the Kingpin role. I wish he were like a foot and a half taller,
Okay.
because Kingpin is this massive mountain of a character in the comics, and he doesn't tower over people in this show. He's the Tom Cruise of Kingpins. How's that? He is to Kingpin what Tom Cruise is to Jack Reacher. Maybe anyway.
I don't know whose lawyer you're going to hear from first. I don't even know how that works.
I wish Kingpin was bigger. I think he should be bigger. I don't know what the solution is there. Anyway, whatever.
Oh, it's this. You know what? It's the same exact stuff. If you've ever seen the making of Elf, you just use forced perspective, right? So you just have him stand closer to the camera, and you have Daredevil stand further away. But if you line it up exactly right, it looks like he's significant. Like this, you don't have to use CGI. Yeah. It's just a little bit of math.
And then the other thing that we watched is a movie that's on Netflix, new movie called Back in Action.
Okay.
This is Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx, and they are former CIA, I don't know, something, operatives that retired and lived calm suburban lives and then have to go back in action. It's an action comedy thing. It's fine.
It's a Netflix movie.
Yes. If you watched any of these other action comedy Netflix movies, Red something, Gold something, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, yeah, it's one of them. Again, there's nothing on. There's nothing on. That may be what I learned this week, but it's not what I learned this week. What'd you learn this week?
So tonight, as we record, I am in not Vegas for work. Dwayne, you've been here many times. You stayed in plenty of hotels. What are some of the hotels that you've been in? What sites, like what views have you had from your hotel rooms here in not Vegas? Like just like what's been like? Oh, I open up my window and this is what I can see.
I could see the Eiffel Tower.
Okay,
I could see the Bellagio fountain, the Eiffel Tower in not Vegas, not the one in Paris. I could see the Bellagio fountains one time. I could see the Top Golf. That was kind of cool.
okay,
Um, I've stayed where I could see the golf course behind the Wynn.
mm,
That's kind of cool.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. Um, can you see the roller coaster? Is there still a roller coaster at New York, New York?
There is. I can't see
Okay.
it, but I mean, I
Yeah.
know that there
Okay.
is. Yeah, yeah.
Why? What can you see tonight?
Well, so tonight my hotel overlooks one of the boring company's tunneling sites. now, now,
So you've got a boring view.
I I do have a boring view. Thank you for that.
You're
Um,
welcome.
and you know how we talked about how they've got the tunnels that people keep entering at the
Yes.
convention center. Well, and we've also talked about how they're digging these tunnels under not Vegas, and at one point may have caused some small structural damage to the monorail system. Um, and also the city of Las Vegas won't give them a permit because they looked at all of their quote unquote engineering stuff, and the city engineer of the city of Las Vegas said, "Oh hell no, that's not even engineering stuff." But not Vegas said, "Was Vegas, baby, let it ride." So I literally am overlooking this site now. So what is there? There's a big hole up near the front, and then there are pieces, precast pieces of tunnel just all over here. But what I find interesting is um, it is now approaching 10 p.m. At 9 p.m., I thought it was interesting. The forklift was still driving around the lot, and there are still people out there. And I thought, well, that's weird. By the way, the forklift wasn't moving anything; it was just driving around. Anyway, whatever. Um, it is now 10 o'clock. Multiple very large dump trucks have now pulled into the lot, and I believe are going to start loading from the big hole. So what I've learned is number one, this is not a room with a view. Well, every room has a view, but this is not a view room. Number two, in most places, construction must stop at some point at night. Um, I believe not only do the casinos never shut down and they run 24/7, the bars run 24/7. I also believe the boring. Oh, and a third dump truck has now appeared. There is more action here than there has been in 4 hours. Anyway, apparently this is a 24-hour construction zone. Oh, I am so looking forward to sleeping tonight, or not. Anyway, what I've learned was maybe a new hotel, maybe, or I'm gonna get to see how they build these tunnels. I
Yuck.
think I think that dump truck's backing into the tunnel. Hold on just a second. Anyway, what did you learn?
Do you remember which Die Hard movie was it where they drove the trucks into the tunnel?
Like the 16th or 17th one.
Yeah, yep. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're
Yeah.
stealing all the gold.
Oh crap! This might be Clooney out here. Maybe this is a
It
heist.
wouldn't be the first heist movie in not Vegas he's done.
That's what I'm saying. Is maybe it's Clooney. Maybe I should take a good look. Hey, do you have a phone with a telephoto camera I could really I could use real quick? Anyway, sorry. What have you learned?
So I've told you we're going to Italy, right?
Yes.
And we're going to Rome. We're going to be in Rome.
Yes.
We wake up this morning. Not this morning. I wake up earlier this week. Amy wakes up earlier this week, and we're both laying in bed on our phones, as we are wont to do. From the other side of the bed, Amy, Shit. What's wrong? The Pope died. Wait a beat. Wait a beat. You and she's like, and later she tells me you could just see the wheels turning in your head for how big of a mess this is now going to be for our trip. Me, shit, as I realize how big a mess this is going to be because we're supposed to tour the Sistine Chapel.
Yep.
We're supposed to tour the Basilica.
Yep.
We're supposed to spend some time in the Vatican City. I don't know. We do at this point have tickets, and they have managed to navigate this process. And we think we have tickets because we're not showing up until well after the funeral, right?
Okay.
But we probably are going to be there during the conclave.
Okay. Tickets for the Sistine Chapel are going to be slightly harder to get at that point.
Not if you have a red hat.
I'm not going there. Don't play the other theme.
The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. You can subscribe to our award-winning podcast with visiting Cardinal Todd Prinz, wherever you get your pods. Just search Talkin' and the number 2. There's no G and there's no space. You can stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office. Please don't do that. And as always, we want to thank our listeners, our sponsors, and our contributors. We appreciate you. And you can send your feedback on this episode or any episode to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd.
So ironically, much earlier in the episode, you were talking about your new phone and how you were taking pictures of stuff in LA. And I wrote down something to say right now. And then it's funny because you referenced this. This was all earlier in the show, which was as you were explaining stuff that you took pictures of with the new telephoto lens. I thought what you were going to say is a guy who you took a picture of Tom Cruise, then used the telephoto lens and said, "Oh, that's not Tom Cruise. That's just a dude." Wow, this telephoto lens is good. Yeah. Huh. Funny. He looks taller in person. No.
It's not Ian Happ.
No.
So the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, they did a premiere to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith at the Chinese theater here that is also on property where I'm at. George Lucas was in this building tonight.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't see him. I heard about it in the elevator later, but still. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. Now I'm done.
Hey, that's George Lucas. It is. I've been waiting for this moment. I've got notes. George,
hey.
Some thoughts.
Oh, I sure hope he doesn't listen. We'll be back next week. I think we'll be back next week.
I believe so, yes.
Yes, we'll be back next week. We'll clearly have something we need to clean up. In the meantime, we're here. We're talking to Todd. Who has the high ground now, George? Huh?
You've got me looking out my window. I'm trying to see if there's a sign out there that says "Caution, blast area."